Now it's time for the last word with Lawrence O'Donnell. Good evening, Lawrence.
Good evening, Rachel. And in the interest of planning your day, I spoke to Chairman Schiff in the hallway on my way racing into this room. Mm-hmm. And the one thing I wanted to know is, what time tomorrow? What time tomorrow?
He wouldn't tell me. Did he tell you?
No, he wouldn't. So the answer was tomorrow. So I narrowed it down to tomorrow.
Yes.
So,
I asked him how long it is it, and he said it's long. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah. Well, we don't know.
And I just want to, one group that I just want people to think about tonight after we all had our, to varying degrees, relaxing Thanksgivings and time off, are the staff of the House Intelligence Committee, who I guarantee you were lucky if they were able to get a bite of anything on Thanksgiving Day. That staff has been working basically 24 hours a day in a relay in order to write a document which is going to be a very substantial, very long document. It's an amazing feat to put this together. Chairman Schiff told me that not only were the staff involved in this, but he and some other members were also deeply involved in this throughout this last week, and it's difficult. It's a difficult thing for them to do. It's a difficult thing for them to do, working around family schedules that we all had last week. And so I just want that one note of thank you to them for the job that they've been doing, that they have taken an oath to do.
And they can't even have. You know, you get that relief when you finish a big project, even if it's been killing you to get it done. You finally, at least it's done. In this case, one of the things I just talked to Chairman Schiff about is the fact that they consider this to be an open and ongoing investigation. They will continue to collect evidence and to send out subpoenas and to talk to witnesses, and they will continue to add to and potentially put out subsequent reports as they get more information on this. So obviously they're putting out what they believe to be the bulk of their findings, but this will be a rolling process from here on out. And so, you know, no rest for the wicked.
And Rachel, as I was listening to your interview with Chairman Schiff, when he got to his emphasis about President Trump's obstruction of justice, obstruction of Congress, it really sounded like he certainly wants to see, at least he wants to see, if there's going to be articles of impeachment, an article that is specifically about the obstruction that the president has brought to the Congress's investigation.
Yes, I think that is exactly my same read on it. I mean, and he makes a substantive point. I think a lot of us who've been watching this process look at the sort of expressions of concern, the expressed objections from Chairman Schiff and from other members involved in this process, and say, yeah, you're frustrated. You want to be getting this stuff from the White House and you're not getting it. But if you spend too much time objecting to the White House not giving you stuff, you're going to get bogged down. They're going to be allowed to stonewall this thing forever. They're going to drag this out until Trump, after the election or whatever, however else long they want it to go. I think we see it in a very instrumental way. But what Schiff is articulating is saying, listen, this is about precedent. This is about whether or not White Houses in the future ever just direct members of their staff to not respond to subpoenas, to not hand over documents, to pretend like congressional oversight isn't a real thing. Regardless of how utilitarian these objections may be in the moment, he's like, we got to play for the long haul.
All right, Rachel,
Thanks
tomorrow,
so
sometime tomorrow.
I know.
That's when we get it.
I'm going to stay up all night.
Great interview, Rachel. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on the button below for more from The Last Word and the rest of MSNBC.